Hello, hello, kings, queens, and everybody in between. Ashley Michelle here, and welcome back to another episode of the Goddess Complex. If you're new here, welcome home. And I feel like it's been a while. Maybe not for you, but it's been a while for me since I've recorded. If you keep up with me on my socials, you know that I just got back from Texas and I just got back from doing my first ever bodybuilding show. And today we're going to talk all about it. We're going to talk about how and why I feel like bodybuilding has been one of the most spiritual, transformational experiences in shadow work that I've ever had in my life, and how investing myself in this experience has truly made me fucking better. That's all I can say. Just better as a business owner, better as a mystic, better as a mentor, um, better as a spouse, and better as a friend, and a daughter, and a sister, and a cousin, and all the things. My God, what a whirlwind it's been. First off, friend, if you haven't already, make sure you're following the Goddess Complex and those notification bells are on. If you feel so inclined, we would love a 5-star review and hit those 5 stars wherever you listen to podcasts and let us know how we're doing. It really just helps, for other folks to find this podcast who, are like us, who are a little bit witchy, a little bit mystical, and looking to live our best lives and be the best versions of ourselves. So yeah, let's talk about it. So I don't even know where to begin. I've spent this last week and a half, I guess just like processing the fact that I did something that I didn't know I could do. You know what I mean? Where do I even begin, friend? I guess let's just start with the beginning, right? So, I did this bodybuilding show called Summer Shredding. It's in Houston, Texas. It's run by a gentleman named Christian Guzman, who owns Alpha Elite. If you're familiar with the gym wear brand, if you're not familiar, go check them out. Their leggings make your ass look mwah, chef's kiss. Okay. And he's like YouTube famous. He's really big with his fitness content on YouTube. And he started this fitness competition, this bodybuilding competition called Summer Shredding. I think it's 4 or 5 years old. And he included this division. If you don't know anything about bodybuilding, the main divisions for the women anyway are wellness, physique, figure, bikini. I may be missing some, but those are the four that come to mind. And the different divisions focus on specific body types. Like, for example, in the wellness division, you want to have a more muscular lower half and a smaller upper half. Bikini, you want to be more proportioned. Figure, you want to have a bigger upper half and smaller lower half. Based on your genetics and where you pack on muscle is going to dictate what division you're in, right? So let's say that you really want to get into lifting and you realize that you can grow your shoulders like no tomorrow, but it's harder for you to grow your legs. You might want to go into figure. Okay, so quick little crash course on that. Most of these bodybuilding competitions don't have something called transformation, and Christian really wanted to include that. So, what is transformation? Transformation is when you've gone through a crazy ass weight loss journey. That's what it is. It gave the folks who've gone through a weight loss journey and who've recognized that they love to lift heavy weights and love to build muscle, love to track their protein, but our bodies may not look like the typical bodybuilder's bodies, right? We may have stretch marks, we may have extra skin, things jiggle because we were overweight. That's the truth of it, you know? And summer shredding gives us a place to go and celebrate the work that we've accomplished and the work that we've done. And so in transformation, you have to submit a 2-minute video, transformational video on your story, on the work that you've done and all of that jazz. You guys still haven't seen my video yet. By the time this drops, you still won't see it, and you'll know why towards the end of this podcast. Um, so one day, I'll say late February, I was talking to a friend, and I've been on my weight loss journey for a while. For a lot of you guys that have been following me know, my highest was 320 pounds. And I was doing a program called Ladder, ALDDER, with Kelly Matthews. If you know her, she's amazing. And I've always loved weightlifting. That's always been kind of in the background, right? I've always been into spin. I've always been into lifting weights, but I never did it consistently. I just knew that I was good at it. You know how you know you're good at something, but you don't really give it, your all? That was kind of where I was with weightlifting. And I had interviewed my current coach, Julia Renee. Her podcast is up in the Goddess Complex if you're curious. A few weeks beforehand, this was February of this year. And I had interviewed her I had been following her work for a while, and I loved how she incorporated spirituality into physical fitness. Her and her partner were really good at that. And so I interviewed her, and off camera, I was talking to her about how I admired the lifestyle of a bodybuilder. It's very conditioned. It's rigid, for lack of a better word. You have to have boundaries, and you have to be on your P's and Q's. And somebody like myself, whose sun sign is in the sixth house, I have recognized over time how much routine is so fundamentally important in everything I do to be successful. Whether or not I want a routine, I need a routine based on my chart. And she was like, and I told her, and it was this crazy limiting belief I had. I was like, I could never do a bodybuilding show. Like, I've got all this extra skin, I've got stretch marks, blah, 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 subscribing to this old narrative that I didn't recognize that I was still living in. And she was like, girl, have you heard of summer shredding? And so she tells me about summer shredding. She tells me about transformation. I'm like, okay. I look it up and I'm like, oh, okay, I can do this. So in true Sagittarius fashion, I just signed up for it. I was like, okay, cool. And, stellium and Capricorn that I have, I said, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it right. So I'm going to get a bodybuilding coach. So I hired Julia, hired her spouse. They're still my coaches to this day. Hired them, and I started this prep journey. That's what they call it in the bodybuilding world when you're preparing for a show. Started this prep journey and had no clue what I signed up for. Full transparency. No clue how hard prep was going to be, how eye-opening it was going to be. No clue some of the shadows that were going to come up. No clue how, like, some of the habits that I had were going to rear their heads and show themselves to me in a way that I clearly was ready for because I worked through them, but also wasn't ready for because I had to work through them. So, we spend our time on prep. And when I got with Julie and Zach, oh my God, I don't know. I was probably somewhere around 230, 240. Today I sit at 196, again, from my highest at 320. And I learned so much during prep, right? We're on, a 5-day workout split. They're having me do the Stairmaster. At the time I was like, I don't do Stairmaster. No, thank you. Like 5 minutes on the Stairmaster, and I'm like convulsing, thinking I'm gonna die, like full on cry, being the most dramatic version of myself that I could find, just for the shits and giggles. And towards the end of prep, I was doing 60 minutes on the Stairmaster fasted, and then 30 minutes post lift. Insane stuff, right? So, long story short, this isn't really about prep. If you want to know more about prep, let me know and I can do a whole episode on prep. This is more about the show. So, we get my bikini for the show and I'm like, "Oh my God, this bikini is so small." And my biggest insecurity is my tummy, my midsection, and I know a lot of folks can relate to that. And I'm like, my stomach is all out in this bikini. What the F? Like, I'm like tweaking out. The heels are high, the bikini's small. And I remember getting my bikini. It came in like August, I think. And I was like, can I do this? Can I really go on stage in front of millions of people? Like, more than halfway naked? Like, can I actually hold this frequency? You know, like, did I bite off more than I can chew? I remember feeling that way. I remember thinking, we're all signed up for this show. We're all paid for this show. We're going to fucking Texas, whether or not I can hold the frequency or not. This is what I called in. This is what I've worked for. This is what I said I was going to do. So it's kind of like this buck up little soldier sort of energy. It's not about, can I hold this frequency? It's about, I've been holding this frequency. And it goes to show, you know, limiting beliefs and false narratives and the stories we tell ourselves. It's not that they go away as you do the spiritual work. It's that they morph as you do the spiritual work, right? I remember a long time ago when I started Starseed Shadows, I had the same feeling. Can I hold this frequency? Can this business survive? Can I continue to be successful? Or is it easier for me to get a job down the street, leaning back into my waitressing and my bartending? And I had to realize it's not about if I can hold this frequency, it's that I've been holding this frequency and this is what I want to do and this is what I love to do and this is what I deserve and desire to do, so I'm going to do it. And I got out of that mindset and stepped into the narrative of being the CEO and boss of my brand. And now here I am with this other thing that I've never fucking done, like a bodybuilding show. And here's that limiting belief coming back, but in a different form, right? It's a different monster. It's a different beast. So I had to move through that story. And the one piece of wisdom I'm going to drop for you guys is just to repeat it again because it's worth repeating. You know, a lot of the spiritual work is this like love and light mentality of, you know, you work through your shadows and then your shadows are gone. You work through your limiting beliefs and your limiting beliefs are no more. I have found that to not be true. I have found, and it's not a bad thing or a wrong thing. It's that you are given this beautiful opportunity to step into the next level of expansion. That's what's actually going on. It's very Jupiterian. Like, do you take it or do you not take it? The choice is yours. So I took it, right? You know, I showed my suit to, you know, as many people as I could without like giving it away to the public and just to get myself comfortable with being in it, you know what I mean? And it helped. So we go to Texas. Okay, guys, get ready. This is fucking crazy. So I live in upstate New York, if you don't know. So Texas is far from us. All right. We started traveling at like 5 in the morning and we got to Texas around like 2 p.m. Right. There was a hurricane warning. Let's start there. Hurricane warning. We didn't get the hurricane, but there was a warning. So I was like, fuck, let's hope flights don't get delayed. We got there on a Wednesday. The show was on a Friday, so I could let go of any water I had. Mind you, we'll backpedal a little bit. Towards the end of my prep, my partner started acting the fuck up, his Scorpio ass, just feeling like neglected. Some of the content that I've been digesting around prep in the bodybuilding world that has been very consistent is that A, prep is a privilege, and B, prep is selfish. And it is. You are so dialed in, friend, on your food and your macros and your workouts and your water and your sleep. You know, especially towards the last like 6, 7 weeks of prep, Manuel and I couldn't even have a meal together because we were eating so differently. You know what I mean? And he loves to cook for me and all of this stuff. And you know, it was hard on him, and it's also not his world at all. So he's like, what the hell's going on? You know? And I feel for him in that sense. So I'm running my business. I'm launching Sirena, my program for spiritual business bays looking to build up a business and quit their 9 to 5. I'm launching that. I'm in the last weeks of prep, which are arguably the worst. You're doing a shit ton of cardio, a shit ton of lifting. Your body's so fatigued and so tired. And, you know, you're not eating a whole lot, truth be told. Right? And my partner is being really needy and aggro. So there's a lot going on. And so I was really challenged with understanding how much I can hold. And I'm so glad I went through that because we can hold so much more than we think. We can hold so much more than we think. Okay. So, sorry, I'm just getting over a cold. But anyways, so we get to Texas. We get to the airport, hour drive from the airport to the hotel, so we're not even done yet. Um, I get my fucking period. And she's a week early. My period comes on the full moon all the time, like clockwork. And at the time of the show, the full moon was due the week after the show. And I remember doing the math around that months in advance. And I'm like, this would happen. This would happen. I would be on day 2. And if you know, you know, day 2 is the worst day of my period on show day in this tiny ass bikini. And I'm like, okay. So I'm holding water from traveling. I'm bloated from my period. And I'm about to be in this really tiny bikini. Okay. And I'm in Texas where everything is bigger. So, like, the smells are intense, the food is intense. And I'm with my crew. My sister came, her boyfriend came, my cousin came, her husband came, my friend from college came. Um, I don't think I'm missing anybody. And then obviously my husband. So I got a little crew with me. Shout out to all you hoes who came out and supported me out in Texas. So I'm like, okay, we're gonna do this. It's fine. Day before show day, we get our tan, right? And the purpose of the tan, because you're like, bitch, you're black. What the fuck? I'm like, girl, I know. I was also like, is this necessary? Yes. So the darker your skin tone, the more your muscles pop, apparently. So no matter what complexion you have, you get in a fucking tan. I actually loved my tan. It made my skin glow this really beautiful, like chocolatey, velvety sort of brown. It was very tasteful, very pretty. I actually really liked it. I'm not gonna lie. It was as if I had spent like the week in the Bahamas or something. Really, really nice. And so it was so crazy because I'm like thrust into this world, and we get to the hotel, and like all the bodybuilders are there because they did a hotel block where I stayed. So everybody from Summer Shredding was there, and I was in this world of folks that were in transformation. I got to meet a lot of the transformation girls before the show, and folks that were in other divisions, and it was like it felt like my people, the same way like you guys feel like my people. It felt like my people, like these folks that have been working for all of these months for this show, just as long as I have. They understood the grueling nature of fasted cardio. They understood how annoying it is to go into my fitness pal yet again and like weigh out your food. They understood the fucking grind, and they also understood the anxiety that comes with these tiny ass bikinis. Like, they got it. And it felt like home. It felt like home. The same way you guys do. I feel like as a 34-year-old woman who's about to be 35, I have found my people in the crosshairs of spiritual development and personal development and physical development. I have just found my soul work, and it feels calming in a way. Yeah, it's so hard to explain. My stress levels have been like so fucking low since I've been at home. I've just been at peace because I know where I'm going, and I know what I'm supposed to do, and I know how I'm supposed to do it, and I know how I'm supposed to help the collective in such a clear cut way. And I'm grateful. I'm sitting in deep gratitude. And the only reason why is because I did things that scared the fuck out of me, bro. I started a goddamn business being the only person in my family that's ever done this, and especially like in spirituality. I went on a goddamn television show that I'm still working on. Like, what the fuck? Talking about this soul work. And then I did a bodybuilding show and lost over 100 pounds. We have to do things that scare us to propel us into the next level version of ourselves. We hear it all the time. We see it all the time. We ingest this content constantly, but are you actually listening? Are you actually listening? So, I met a girl who also was in transformation. She was also in the 100 plus pound division, and she was also on her period. And I was like, oh my God, thank you, Ja, for like just putting somebody in my peripheral. That was that Thursday, just before we got our tans, where we met. And I was like, okay, don't feel so alone now. Even just knowing that somebody else was on their cycle, I was like, and I knew it could be done. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have these bodybuilding competitions with all these women and not one person is on their period. I knew that it could be done, but I was just like, how the fuck do you do this? Like, just the bikini is so small. And babe, for reference, I've never even worn a bikini out in public. Like, ever. My midsection was always this point of contention for me. So, like, babe, babe, your girl was scared. So, excuse me. So, anyways, she gave me some tips, some pointers, all of that. Go get my tan. Love my tan. Had to get 2 coats of tan. You do one the night before, and then you have to sleep in like long sleeve clothing or whatnot, and it's like sticky. And then like the week of your show, it's called peak week. Get this. You can't use any lotion. You have to exfoliate in the shower every single day because you have to get your skin ready to hold the tan. So your girl was so ashy. Did not like it. My skin felt so dry, like a goddamn crocodile. It's crazy. There's so much that goes into it. And then you have to water load. Sorry I'm jumping, but I'm like remembering things. So I drink a gallon to a gallon and a half of water a day anyways. 2 days before the show, my coach had me drink 2 gallons of water. So get this. You drink 2 gallons of water. This is what my coach had me do. Every coach is different. 2 gallons of water for 2 days. And then the day before the show, you cut it to a half gallon of water. And then they pull water totally. And they pull water totally to what's called dry you out. And also, when you're drinking 2 gallons of water, you're peeing like you're drinking 2 gallons of water all the fucking time. And then when they cut the water drastically like that, um, it tricks your body's still peeing like you're drinking 2 gallons of water. So it tricks your body into letting go of even more water than it would have initially. It is crazy. You want to learn how to manipulate the body, talk to a bodybuilder. I've learned so much about my body through bodybuilding. It is insane. Like training till failure, all of it. I've just learned so much. So grateful and thankful for it. But anyway, so I'm like chugging down 2 gallons of water, which was so hard, by the way. Oh, it sucked. I'm not even gonna lie. Sucked. Sucked. And again, I can drink a gallon of water with my eyes closed. That's easy. But that second gallon to get it all in, ugh, I have to do it again soon too. You'll learn why very soon. So, morning of the show. Okay, so you all may or may not know, we did a wig. Her name is Shannon. Okay. So I wanted to do a wig because I just wanted to try something different. I've had my dreadlocks for 12, 13 years. A long time. I got them a year before I got Rico. And Rico Suave, if you don't know, he's my doggy, my son. Rico Suave has been with me since he was 6 weeks old, and he's an old fogey now. So my dreadlock anniversary is sometime in April. No, it's May because Rico's birthday is in April. He's a Taurus. Of course he's a Taurus. His lazy ass. Where is he right now? Rico Suave. He's sleeping somewhere. Anyways, so where was I at? Friday, the morning of the show. So the wig lady tells me that we're going to start show day stuff at 3:30 in the morning. And I also had a makeup girl, okay? The day before the show, The makeup girl calls me and says she is deathly ill. She has to go to the fucking hospital. She is so sorry. I didn't pay her at that time yet. She is so sorry, but she is not sure if she can do my makeup. And she is calling some of her other makeup friends to see if they can fill in. And I'm like, okay, okay. And babes, this is why we have a spiritual practice. So we learn to not spaz out in moments like this, okay? So makeup girl calls me and says this. So funny. This is why we have a spiritual practice, so that our third eye is strong as fuck. Because something told me when I was packing in Rochester to bring all of my makeup. Something told me to not bring a little, like some things here and there to touch up, but to bring the whole thing. I'm talking foundation, base, everything. A palette that I could work with, everything. So I did. Thank God I did, because I was able to do my own makeup. And again, if you've been following me, you guys know that I can do a beat. You guys know that. I'm really good at doing a beat. So, a beat is like glam. So I was like, whatever, she's sick. No problem. She's saying she's sick, whatever. I have no choice but to believe her. She's sick. Can't do my makeup. So I'm like, okay. And she's the one that connected me to the wig girl, right? So I'm like, okay, is the wig girl still coming? She goes, I talked to the wig girl. The wig girl's still coming. At this time, I'm only having conversations with the wig girl via email. I email the wig girl. I don't hear from the wig girl. And I'm like, okay, like, why are we not confirming that you're coming? You're telling me I have to be up at 3:30 in the fucking morning. I have not heard from you. Makeup girl just canceled. This is all Thursday night, by the way. So I'm starting to kind of like tweak a little bit. Now, mind you, summer shredding, they offered hair and makeup, but I wanted my own people. You know what I mean? I have dreadlocks. I'm a woman of color. I just wanted to have my own people. There were tons of folks of color doing makeup, by the way, that summer shredding provided. And not to say that white girls can't do my makeup or my hair, just to say, you guys know. You know what I mean. So I don't want to go into all that. So I talk with the people downstairs that are covering the tanning, the hair, and makeup, and to see if I need a spot, can they help me out? They're like, yes, we have a spot if you need a spot. And I'm like, okay, bet. So, the morning comes. Still haven't heard from the fucking wig girl, by the way. I had texted her to confirm, or sorry, emailed her to confirm that Thursday night. And I still hadn't heard from her. And I'm like, okay, ugh. Wake up at 3:30, still nothing. And I'm like, holy fucking cannoli. Like, she's got the wig and everything. I was not prepared to do my locks. I don't do my own hair. That's one thing I'll tell you. I have a loctician. I don't really do my own hair. That's why normally when you guys see me, I got that high bun up, because that's just what we like, especially with all the working out and the sweating. There's no point to have like a fresh hairstyle in all the time. I'm just too active for it. So everything was riding on the wig for my show day hair. So, it's like 4 in the morning, still nothing. I'm going downstairs. I'm getting my second coat of paint. I almost said taint. LOL. I'm getting my second coat of paint, or tan, I should say. And then I'm like, okay, let me just start getting my hair done by one of the girls downstairs. So I'm getting my hair done by one of the girls downstairs. I'm like tweaking because nobody was prepared for this. I'm like, I don't know what she's going to do. I'm nervous, all of that. The wig girl emails me at 5:30 in the morning, and she's like, I am so sorry. My boyfriend turned off my alarm. Mind you, I had paid the wig girl. I guess apparently her boyfriend does security, gets home super late. Her alarm went off at 2. He thought she was playing games because he didn't know she had an early morning appointment. He turned it off. And I was like, okay, no problem. Right? Mind you, we have to be there, transformation. I didn't know what time I was going on at that time, but the schedule said that transformation was going to be somewhere in the beginning. So we all had to be there at like 8 something. And again, this is my very first show. I have no clue how this goes. I'm going in blind, right? And I pride myself on being punctual. So Wig girl comes at like 5:30. We go up to my room. I'm doing my makeup as she's doing my wig. Mind you, my coaches had told me that I had to have at least 2 meals before I even hit stage, right? And it's 5:30 in the morning. So I pull out a tuna packet. I'm scarfing down tuna. My cousin's coming in. There's people coming in and out of the room. It was crazy, babe. It was crazy. So there's people coming in and out of the room. Manuel is half sleep in the bed. I'm eating tuna, doing my face. The girl's doing my wig. All of this, redoing stuff. We get the wig done. We get the wig on. Shannon is a slay. She's looking great, right? Then we get ready to go. I can't find my badge. There's this summer shredding badge that you have to have. And the night before, when we checked in, the heads of summer shredding were like, your badge is everything. Don't go anywhere without your badge. And I'm a heavy packer. So there were bags everywhere. And I'm like, where the fuck's my badge? Where the fuck's my badge? So finally find my badge, warm up a piece of chicken. I have a fork with a chicken breast on it in the car on the way to the show. And I'm like, okay, we're going to the show. Get everything ready, get everything going. Get backstage. And I just like breathe. And then I start getting nervous. And then I'm like, oh my God. I'm like seeing all the girls in their suits, and of course, imposter syndrome comes up. Comparison is the thief of joy. I'm looking at everybody's bodies, transformation and non. I'm looking at the colors that they have on. I'm looking at everything. And then I'm like, Ash, you got this. You better put on your show day playlist. And I'll link my show day playlist down below. The playlist that I'm linking down below is the playlist that I listened to throughout all of prep that I created for myself, just to like my motivational songs, my big why songs, like why I'm doing this songs. I'm still adding to it and it's not going to go anywhere. You put on your show day playlist, you practice your posing routine, and you go out there and you do your fucking big one. You do your fucking big one. You have worked for this and you deserve to take up space on that goddamn stage. Fuck it. Fuck it. Right? Like that was like the energy, right? So I'm practicing like nobody could tell me nothing. I'm putting on my heels. I'm going back and forth. I'm doing my side poses, doing my ass out poses, like doing everything, arching my back, flipping my hair. Can't tell me shit. I'm listening to people's videos, right? And the whole time I'm like, I'm going to at least place, like coming up to summer shredding. I knew this was a big event. I knew there were going to be a lot of women there. And I'm like, my story's crazy. I've lost like 126 pounds. I should at least place, right? And in the green room, we could hear people's videos and stories, and some of their videos were crazy. And I'm like, holy shit. Like, am I gonna place? Again, going back to what I was saying at the top of this, babe, the stories we tell ourselves, we break through one barrier and another one comes in, and it's not like the work is never done. Hug, big sigh. It's more like we have this beautiful opportunity to do even more work, to step into this next level of expansion, to recognize how much we can hold. Baby, you truly can do anything. Like, that is real. Like, when people say that shit and when we hear that shit, it's not fucking fluff. That is the reality. We make our own reality. We can do anything. All of these cliches are cliches for a reason. I can't say that enough. So, I hear their videos in the green room and then I'm like, oh my God, am I even going to place? Like, some of their videos are crazy, but I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to go out there and do my big one, because the real win is stepping on stage in this tiny ass bikini as a girl who was so insecure about her stretch marks, about her tummy, about her thick ass thighs, who found a place in this world where thick thighs are fucking king, where being muscular is rewarded, and where being muscular is feminine, and I'm going out there in this bejeweled, it's giving me T Swift shimmer, right? This bejeweled ass suit, and celebrating the work that I've done. You know? I mean, what an honor. What a space to do. So I was number 51. 5 plus 1 is 6. I'm a life path 6. So I was like, okay, life path 33, life path 6, whatever you want to define as. I identify as both. um, but anyways, and so is Manuel. He's a 6 as well. Sorry. So anyways, they I'm like last, right? I was initially last, and then one girl, she was competing in two different divisions, so she ended up being after me, so I was second to last. And we're in the back green room and everybody's pumping up, and I don't know what happened, babe. It was like I was ready. I was just ready, and I was just like, don't cry. So like, and I didn't cry. And you guys know I love to cry. You know that. I love a good cry. And all the tears were done, like all the crying on the Stairmaster, and the crying in the spin room, and the crying at the gym, and the crying to my friends, and the crying to my family. Like I had done so much crying over prep, and the crying to my coaches. Shout out to my coaches. All the fucking crying voice notes. Oh my God, so dramatic. Um, like there were no more tears. I was in full celebration mode. I was in full this is me mode, right? And so I hear my video, I see my video, and then I did start to get a little, ah! And then I was like, that's right. Like we got to the second half and I was like, yeah, that's fucking right. I did that shit. I did that. This fucking weight I took off. I'm doing my big one. I'm here to take up space. I got this. Look at how much I can fucking hold. I am that bitch. Boo boo. Your girl walked out there and did her big one, representing for all the witches, all the mystics, all the sirenas, for everybody with a motherfucking dream. I fucking went out there and I did that for every motherfucking big girl that thought that she couldn't do it, for everybody with a stretch mark who thought she had to hide it, for everybody with loose skin who thought it wasn't cute, for everybody. I went out there and I fucking did it, bro. I fucking did it, bro. Holy shit. Ugh. I did something I didn't know I could fucking do. I was that mermaid. I was that mystic. The nails were giving, she's a witch. The suit was giving, she's a siren. The hair was giving, is this like the witchy version of Sasha Fierce? Like, who is she? She's that girl. She's her. Ugh, it was exhilarating. It was exhilarating. It was exhilarating. So I get off stage, and I'm like, okay, we did that. Fuck yeah, that's amazing. I want to do it again. So, long story short, I placed eighth. Top 10, baby. Top 10. Top 10. And I was so thankful to place because obviously there were girls who didn't place. And the thing about it was, it wasn't about, they didn't judge you based on how much weight you lost. That was like, they judged you on how well you could effectively tell your storytelling, which is a part of business, right? How well can you effectively tell your story? I'm talking to my sirens about that right now. You know, it was about your presentation on stage. I have the body of a bodybuilder. It wasn't like I was doing this to like, and I'll tell you more about that in a second, but like my body type was made for this sport. It was made for it. And it looked like it was made for it on stage, you know? Um, like my waist right now is at like a 33 with hips at like a 42. That is like, and thighs at 26 inches around. That is a wellness physique like no other. And if you know bodybuilding, you know like those inches are wellness inches like crazy. And we're only going to get smaller from here because we're going to keep going. So, the judges stayed that Sunday to give us feedback. So, I stayed to talk to the judges, and they told me a few things. They said that I was limiting myself in transformation, which I thought was so fucking fascinating. They're like, you're limiting yourself in transformation. They're like, you were great, but you realize that you can go competitive, right? Like, you realize that you're limiting yourself in this division, right? And I was like, what? Am I? And they're like, yeah, you are. And I took that to heart. They were like, just keep cutting, keep getting bigger. I know it sounds like an oxymoron, but cutting fat, growing muscle. So we're going to keep going, babes. I'm going to be competing in 2025. Don't know when yet. We're going to keep going for a few reasons. Bodybuilding has only helped me, and I can only speak to my journey. I want you all to know that. I can't speak to anybody else's. Can only speak to mine. This work has only helped me be a better version of myself in every area of my life. The structure of bodybuilding, and honey, it is structured. It is extremely structured. It has only helped me be better, be a better business owner. Like, to run your own business, you have to be on your P's and Q's. You have to be looking at your numbers. You have to be creating your content. You have to make sure that your clients' cups are filled. And in order to make sure that my clients have what they need, I have to make sure I have what I need. So if I'm out like rampaging the fucking streets of Rochester, New York, not doing what I need to do, how can I be effective? If I'm putting garbage in my body on a regular basis, how can I be effective? It doesn't mean I can't have a fucking cookie. You best believe I can have a cookie. You best believe I totally had some Oreos. You best believe I had some Nutella cookies. You best believe I ate some goddamn Pringles. You best believe I had some fucking soul food. But then I got back on my grind because that's what makes me feel good. You know what I mean? Always move towards the joy. What makes you feel good? And this sort of work in the bodybuilding community, and you would think it's such an oxymoron, right? Because it's like bodybuilders, you think meatheads, you think steroids, like you think shit like that. But in my personal experience, this has been um such a crown chakra opening experience because I was pushed to what I thought was my limit. And I have realized that I haven't even seen my fucking wall. I haven't even seen my potential. I have just cracked the surface to what I thought was my limit. And not just in the bodybuilding world, but in the business world, in the spiritual world, in the intuitive world, in the entertainment world. In everything that I do, I have just cracked the surface of what I can hold. This world has been affirming for me in such a beautiful way. And I did all that on my period, bitch. I did all that bleeding out of my kitty cat. Sorry for the visual, but damn. Damn. You know, so that was show day. We obviously celebrated. We went out. We drank the booze. We drank the shots. I drank so much tequila that night. Holy fucking shit. I drank so much tequila that night. The vlog is coming. We're working on it now, so you will get a visual of all this. That's half the reason why I didn't do a visual for this today. Um, but this was show day, and so now we're doing another show at the time that you're listening to this. We'll be a little more than a week out, like a week and 3 days out from the show I'm doing in Rochester. It's also going to be in the transformation division. And then after that, we're going to go into off season and we're just going to still be cutting. And then in 2025, we'll prep again for my show into wellness. Those are my plans and I'm sticking to them. I'm excited for what comes next. I'm excited for what we're going to do. I'm excited for this work, this soul work. And you guys know I'm a personal trainer as well. I am taking private clients. I'll link all that down below. I'll link how you can get a birth chart reading done with me if you're curious about the things you need to do to create even more success, wealth, and abundance in your life. You can book a birth chart session. I'm booking for October right now. And then I'll book the link for wellness sessions, right? So, like, private mentorship around weight loss, body image, and then the link to Witchy Wellness, which is my support community for mystics who are looking to create a better relationship with their mind, body, and soul. That's a monthly subscription. Um, and then the waitlist for Siren as well. That is for my business bays who are looking to build up their business. And I'm a firm believer that it all connects with one another, right? So when you feel good about yourself, you feel good about your when you feel good about yourself, and when you feel good about your body, you can feel good about the business that you're running. You can feel good about talking about your message and your soul mission because you don't feel like a fraud or an imposter, right? When you feel good about these areas of your life, it all bleeds into one another. Since I started this weight loss journey, my life has only become even better in every way, shape, and form. And it doesn't mean that you have to lose weight for it to be better. I'm talking about my walk. This was my walk. In my walk, I decided that I was going to go on this journey in this incarnation. And it has only helped me. And all I want to do is give this back to you. So that was some insight into show day. Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube and all the things. Um, and thank you for listening. And I love you so much. And just thank you so much for all your support and all your love. It's been felt. It has been felt. And I see you all. I see everything. I see all the comments. I see all the love. And it's just deeply appreciated on a level I can't really verbalize. Deeply, deeply appreciated. So I love you guys so much. And just remember, what you desire and deserve is right within your reach. Ciao, ciao for now. Hello, friends. I hope you loved today's episode. Make sure you share it with a friend, share it with somebody that you love, and tag me on the gram at Ashley Michelle 90 Day and let me know your thoughts. Leaving that 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify is literally what helps this work get to the right people. As you may or may not know, we are in the middle of a spiritual revolution, and us being able to get our hands on resources like this podcast and others is what is literally going to make the world go round. So do me this favor and please leave me a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify and share the episode with somebody you love. It really, truly does mean the world to me. I love you so very much, and I will see you in the next one.